Clap. Welcome to the June edition of the Tough Love Arena State of the Game stream, where we talk about all things Tough Love Arena. I am one of the co-creators and developer, Paul Weeks. Thank you for stopping by the stream and or YouTube VOD, and let's jump right in. And there will be a Q&A at the end, so feel free to participate in chat, but any questions, please stick around and ask them again later. So, let's talk about the past. What did we accomplish in the month of May? We got in a few nice little quality of life improvements and little features. Oh, our composer's in chat. Ooh, M, stick around. We're gonna show him. We're gonna show him something special tonight. So if you want to be around for the reactions, that'll probably be in like 15 minutes. So yes, what did we do in May? A improvement that I'd always wanted to make to the flavor select, where we actually, show the names of these flavors, the cute little names like Bice, and also explain how to unlock them, because we got those questions all the time. Other quality of life improvements involving certain bugs, and the big progress I made code-wise in May was maintenance. It was infrastructure work. I migrated a handful of servers, some because of performance, some because of cost. I handled some of my personal pain points that made development really difficult. And due to just personal chaos, I've had to change development machines 3 times in the last month. So I have made improvements to my development setup that are investments in any future migrations I'll have to do. Because first time I had to go to another computer, I realized that I was missing a lot of stuff. So that is all in a better place, and I'm very glad to just have that done. It makes the better the state of the code, the quicker and easier I can ship features to you, the users. And I see my camera blipping out. It's doing like a weird like. What can I do about that? Let me see. Camera. Yeah, it's freaking. Boop. And back again. Let's see if that helped at all. Okay. What else did we do in May? We made the About page. So I don't think I've actually tweeted about this super publicly anywhere, because there's a few tiny little fixes I still want to make. Some of these menus look a little weird on mobile, but this is another project I've been excited for a long time. So we'll do a more official announcement probably in a week or so. But you can go check it out right now. It's about.toughlovearena.com, and this is going to be the one-stop shop for all meta Tough Love Arena stuff. I realized when I split out the Hall of Fame for performance reasons, for things that made it a lot easier to develop, that I was proliferating so many of these little websites, all with different domains, and people just wouldn't know about them, right? And I'd always be trying to think, like, how can I get people to go to the events page to find out about TLG and find out about dev streams? So now it's all here. It's all on this informational site. We will link to the site from the main game, but I just want to show you some of the nice things about it. This is also where now patch notes link. We have some nice quotes, including Tough Love Arena is the best beginning fighting game experience from Ellington Reborn. But some nice pull quotes from articles people have written about us. This is now the go-to place for patch notes. It loads basically instantly and has better sort of scrolling. This is going to be the new events site. Looks slightly cleaner thanks to Amy giving feedback on the design. Hall of Fame also lives here now. We added a gallery for people always looking for high-res stuff. It didn't make sense to package the max res images in the game files, because that's just adding like 10 megabytes, 20 megabytes to every desktop distro. But if you want the super high-res version of Parking Lot Stage, this is like, yeah, it's 4,000 by 1,700. And we also include the promo art if you want to check any of that out. The About page, we're going to add some more information to here, but it's mostly all the same that was on the old one, and of course a link to the game. So please check that out. Please let me know if you have any issues. Report any bugs about this in the normal bug area. We're going to add a few other actual bells and whistles, but I'm just super happy to have this done because when we went to PAX back in April, people would ask like, "Oh, do you have a, what's your website?" And I would just give them toughlovearena.com, and they're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "It's a video game," and they're expecting a place where they could read about the game. So very excited to have that in our back pocket. Another thing we did in May was go to Combo Breaker. It was fun. I got kind of sick on the last day, but otherwise it was an absolute joy. Thank you to everyone who stopped by and said hi. Thank you to everyone who bought merch. We had merch this time, and we will have merch at future events. Yes, this is a nice photo with Sonic Fox and Liam, someone who helps out in the Discord a lot. They made the frame data bot that people use. So it was a ton of fun. It was really interesting to see the difference between PAX, where PAX we got a lot of, really high traffic, lots of people would come by just being like, "Oh, what is this? Let me try it out. This looks like fun." But at Tough Love Arena, or at Combo Breaker, we were able to actually meet like FGC people, and that was really cool. And I still want to keep going to PAXs. That's really important. That is one of our main target demos is people who don't play fighting games, and we got a lot of very useful feedback from that. But it was also just really fun to meet other fighting game developers and meet some players and stuff like that. Yes, if you check our Twitter, Amy took a picture with an IRL, a real life Among Us, so you can check that out. The monthly survey, we had pretty low responses, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But in general, I put this in every slideshow. The health check is good. All of the charts are up and to the right, exactly as I want them. There's one outlier here in the how likely are you to recommend to beginner, where they said no, but I checked the rest of their responses, and they were just sort of copy-pasting weird spam into all the fields. So I'm comfortable ruling that one out. Otherwise, people were generally really positive about the game. And again, I use this as my canary test, my canary in the coal mine. So if these charts ever get really weird, then I know, uh-oh, we got to do something. But this looks good. Let's talk about the present. What's going on right now? What are we working on right now? So, we'll be frank. Summer is here, which means the player count is dropping. People who play know this. People who check the stats page know this. We are very public with this information, sometimes to a fault. And so, I'll own it. We have had a pretty low player count for like the last couple of weeks. But honestly, we're not surprised. The exact same thing happened last year. So this is a small consolation to people who want to play ranked, who want to play casual right now. It sucks when there aren't as many people to play against. That's obviously not the goal. We want as many players as possible. But I am not... To me, this is not like an existential threat to the game. These numbers are not like, oh, we're a dead game now. This is just the summer slump. And I fully expect that in... I checked, mid-August, so in about 2 months, we'll just start to see a significant rebound. And in the meantime, we'll still be running events. We'll probably have an official event before mid-August. And of course, I'll be pushing more updates. So... and thankfully, May we didn't get a lot of coding done because we had the events, because I was working on not game stuff directly, like the about page and like the infrastructure, but now all that's done and I can get back to work. So what's some of the stuff that we're working on? Number one is jump cancels. So I will do a little demo on Canary. This is not yet ready for production, but if you want to try this out, you can join our Patreon, which I believe we can do a little command. If you want to play test it. But this is what it currently looks like. I have to remember what the password is. Okay. Ah, yes, and for this segment I want to switch over the music. Can you hear the music coming through, the game music? You cannot hear the game music. Thank you. Okay, let me look into why. Oh, how about now? Can you hear it now? 2. Thank you, Ethan. Okay, cool. Awesome. So, jump cancels. Which one should I show off? I think I'll just do noodle and beef. Can't spoil all the surprise. Still gotta give people, you know, an incentive to join the Patreon. But some of these, you know, people are probably not surprised. We experimented with this a little bit during April Fools. So I'm currently working on refining some of those ideas and expanding them a little bit, balancing them a little bit more seriously, adding a few other options like the ability to go backwards. And also, of course, not every character had a jump cancel during April Fools. So Beef, for example, has no controls. I haven't used a canary in a second. Oops. Options. Well, I already exited out, so I'll show something there. Okay. So, alright, we're back in there. Onion has, you know, his normal jump, and now he can fast fall. Which can be pretty dirty. So we're trying to sort of make, the idea is it doesn't really, you know, it halts your forward advancement. I like the fact that Onion can struggle to get in. That's one of their, you know, weaknesses right now, is being sort of spaced out by meats and carbs. But this is another tool, once they get in, that they can use to sort of feint and go for a frame trap or a mix-up or, you know, a grab, whatever. Meanwhile, Beef has Air Lemon. And the idea of Air Lemon is, I'm actually really proud of how this turned out. It's a little bit more interesting than it looks at first blush. So, raw, and this is all subject to change, but the way it works right now, raw, it is a better starter than a normal jump-in. It does more damage, and it doesn't have the same scaling penalty that jump-in attacks have as of a month ago. You cannot RC Air Lemon. However, it has much longer startup. You can actually anti-air it with some stuff that you can't usually, I guess you can't anti-air with Sweep, but you can anti-air it with like Gut Punch. It is easier to anti-air. It is also much more rewarding to anti-air because it gives counter hit. And for people worried about this being a very strong zoning tool, the fact that jump forces you to go so far forward means it's really not spammable. I can't vote zone anymore, right? So I'm really excited about that because I was afraid about adding Akuma Fireball. A lot of people suggested it, but I was worried about the, you know, what about Runaway Fireball and characters not having the tools to deal with it. But this, you know, is self-correcting. And there are other little hairs, as someone mentions in chat. You can't parry the lemon, so that somewhat balances parries and adds a little bit more interesting to that matchup. That's another product of a lot of these changes, is it makes anti-air parry less strong as an answer, which I like, because I felt like anti-air parries, once you had them on point, because they're one frame startup, it made jumping just so worthless at high level. And now, you know, he still has good anti-airs that could potentially cover both options, but not as rewarding as the parry. Check out our Patreon to learn more. So that's in a pretty good place. We've got a rough draft for all the characters, still balancing some things, still going to probably update some tutorials and combo trials, so that will take a while, but it's definitely coming. I will turn back on the music in a minute, but thank you for the reminder, Ellington. Very considerate of you. Amy also wanted to share progress on Onion art. This has been coming along real smoothly, real nice. And, I mean, nothing else to say. The red cat speaks for themselves. Yes, Trunks. The black hearts also have jump cancels. But I will leave that as a mystery for now. And lastly, the reason why I still have music turned off is because we are proud to announce a new stage. This will be the apartment stage. It is very close to done. Amy is in chat. Oh, Amy says I sent you updated art, by the way. Let's just plug that in real quick. Ooh. There we go. And the best part is it has new music. So we'll see how if this comes through. Oh, that's loud. Apologies. So yeah, that's it. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. As much as I wanted to provide commentary, I wanted to give you all just a chance to listen to the song uninterrupted, and it was just super fun to watch chat. So yes, I am over the moon with this song. I've been listening to it on loop for a couple of weeks ever since I finished it, and we've basically got the stage art done. So Amy's putting the finishing touches on it right now, and expect it to be pushed out by end of day tomorrow. Woo! I'm gonna put back on some background music. Back to our normal stream. Yes. Bravo to M and to Amy. I did not contribute at all. Wonderful art, wonderful music. Super cool. Shine Ninja, I really struggled with that. Yes, I kept it to myself. But you'll get it soon. Don't worry. And now we can talk about the future. June to do. Release the apartment, hopefully tomorrow. Finish the jump cancels. Expect another week or two on that. I really want to give them time. This is such a big change to gameplay and characters' kits. I don't want to put it out, half-cocked. Improve ranked. I've already started working on that during our last dev stream last Thursday. It will require a decent amount of work because I'm just completely rewriting how ranked is tracked and to fix all the bugs related to match resolution. So I'm creating a whole new server. I'm calling it Referee, and it'll take a while, but I have a plan. So should be good. And possibly maybe change something fundamental to the game? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? Another thing I will tease with the Patreon. If you join the Patreon, you gain access to an exclusive Discord channel called Cash Money. And I teased it, we discussed it in Cash Money about 2 weeks ago. So it's going to have to come after all this other work. And I'm still not 100% sure, so I didn't want to put it in here and get people too excited. Instead, I'll just give you a mystery box, which is even more exciting. But you know how much I don't like to say things until they're happening. But I'm like 90% sure at this point. So, yeah. And that's it. Time for the Q&A. Yomi cancel? I'd say no. I'd say it's not. I mean, I can't stop leakers, but I will discourage it. Where is my Q&A screen? Still having a few camera glitches, but I'm just, I'm not going to deal with it right now. Whatever. We are starting the Q&A now, starting at Ellington asking for Q&A. So again, if you had any questions from before, please repost them now, and I will start reading the chat at this point. Ellington Reborn asks, I know you've been working on a community tab for the About page. Will that still be in the works? Yes, Ellington. I'm not sure if that will be a community tab, its own separate thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to merge that with the About tab, because that's already pretty simple and pretty small. It's a little bit of just juggling like the design of once I put it on mobile. Is there just like too many things in the header to squeeze in? I got to balance some stuff like that. But I do plan to add, yes, some place to link all the community resources that are currently linked in the About document, like docs and YouTube videos, wikis, that sort of stuff. I want to have a place where that's referenced. And it'll be even better to have it outside of the game, where it's easier to update and we have way more room for it. So that is in the works, but I can't promise when. Wilton asks, Paul, where did the M and Paul Weeks come from? At the risk of doxing myself, no, actually, yeah, that's a risk I don't want to take. I will not answer that question, Wilton. Sorry. Dion doesn't use Twitch a lot asks, what is Onion's favorite food? For that, I have to defer to Amy, our lore master. So hopefully Amy's still in chat and they can answer it. Amy says that the M stands for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Amy says the Onion's favorite food is the banana split. Canon. Sneaker Ninja, who, by the way, is one of our alpha playtesters, asks, what events will you be bringing to TLA for the rest of the year? Thank you for asking, Sneaker Ninja. We are currently applying to bring it to EVO, which is in early August. But we haven't heard back yet, but I have heard, I've got some connections that are promising. So, can't promise, please don't buy your plane tickets yet, but that is looking more likely than not. We are planning on going to EVO. And we are almost, all but certainly going to PAX West, which is in late September, I think, in Seattle. To my knowledge, that's it. Those are the only two things on my radar. We're not going to CEO. But if there are any FGC events in the fall, please let me know. We definitely went a little too hard doing back-to-back. Oh, Amy corrects me. PAX West is first week of September. But yes, doing the PAX East in April, followed by Combo Breaker in May, burned us out. So I still want to go to a lot of events, but I'm going to try and space them a little bit if I can. Luna asks, what is Garlic's favorite food? That also goes to Amy. Shiggy says, I took notes on the presentation. Oh. Not sure what that's in response to. Cancer Man asks, does the spice canonically eat out of the bowl? Again, I'll leave that to Amy. Kenny says, are you satisfied with the recent balance change? This might be a skill issue, but meats having a bigger jab and having more reward with jabs versus spices is frustrating for me. To my knowledge, nothing has changed since... The jabs haven't changed, and startup and hitboxes haven't changed in a while. I know the meats get more reward in general because they have the new loops that do more damage. But, I'm not concerned. I know it's not easy for spices once they get up close, but they do have sweep as a pretty solid answer, and that's not a place I'm worried about. Thank you for bringing it up, Kenny, though, and please feel free to keep me posted if it continues to bother you. I want to, you know, I have my opinions, but I also trust the opinions I get from balanced discussion and from Cash Money and everything else. So I'll have it on my radar, but nothing I'm currently thinking about or acting on. Shy Ninja asks, how have been these? Has the stress of the game impacted? How do you deal with? And you should hydrate yourself. Oh, I assume that's a joke question. Thank you for the hydration. Oh, and oh my gosh, I didn't notice these requests. Sorry. That one's for Ripla, 30 minutes ago. That one's for Shy Ninja. Table of Rice asks, Paul, will you consider playing in Joust Arena 10, the 10th weekly tournament for jump jousts? I have no idea what you're talking about, Table of Rice. And the tournament board says YouTube vids. Yes, hopefully. Esid says, how do you feel about the different life totals now that they've been out for a bit? I like them, Esid. I like them. I like them because they give me another balancing lever. And it's a pretty small difference. Kenny asks, Pepper updates. Pepper's doing good. Pepper had to get... It's been a stressful 2 weeks for Pepper. He had to get his rabies shot in his butt, and then we had to check on his teeth. So they had to put him under in order to get into that mouth. And so they had to shave a little part of his kitty arm to make room for presumably the IV to knock him out. So he has a little bald spot. It's very cute. But Pepper's good. Pepper's good. He's mostly just angry because as a result of the recent dental visit, he's not allowed to eat dry food for a week, and he very strongly prefers dry food to wet food. So he's whining. Sneaker Ninja says, just think of the M as an M Bison. Oh. Smuckers is my name. Asks, do you have any plans / an open mind for further speedrunning support? I think combo trial speedruns can grow rapidly if it gets enough exposure. Yes, I would love to do that, Smuckers. Speedruns are something that, like, I fully condone people taking the initiative as they have. And long term, I would like to add more explicit features. I've gotten a lot of feedback from Ellington about frame rate and other usability issues. And it'd be great if we could just make like an in-game timer that would thoroughly mitigate any like performance-based timing issues, prevent people from overclocking or whatever. But it is unfortunately pretty low priority for me. So definitely someday. But it's also, as much as I support people speedrunning, and I support people, you know, trying to get world record on X or Y, I know these things are going to change. The game is very far from final, and those combo trials will change. So I would hate to really encourage people to speedrun right now, and then say in a month, JK, all those records are invalid, right? So if people want to do it, I fully support. I think that's really cool, honestly. It's like really fun to see. But knowing in the back of my mind that I'm going to ruin all these scores, you know, makes me not want to invest in it right now. Lots of speculation about my name. Very cool. Table of Rice says, Paul, which characters are you thinking of buffing or nerfing? If you have any ideas, what type of buffs or nerfs are you considering? I will tell you the one. I have one... This was originally lumped in with the jump cancel branch. So if you're on if you have access to Canary, you can test this right now. I will probably push it out this week, separate from the jump cancels. But the patch will be that throw recovery on whiff will be increased from 10 to 20 frames. Rice's SWAT is going to be nerfed. Not in damage, but in sort of spammability. It is going to have its armor frames removed. So it'll still be a very strong anti-air because it's fast and has massive range, and now it gives probably better reward than light attack, considering the spamming, or considering the scaling. But it will now not just be like a complete shutdown answer, and it is going to have longer whiff recovery. So if someone just throws it out as a hard read in neutral, you can walk forward. So the throw changes are related to something else that's maybe coming down the pipeline. I want people to, if people read the throw, if people punish the throw, I want to make sure it goes through, basically. So that's why that's getting changed. And Rice, I do believe that Rice is strong, but I don't want to really fundamentally change like their combo paths. I don't think their damage needs much more nerfing right now. But a place that I think was over-tuned for a while was SWAT. So just dialing it back a little bit. I think that's all I changed about Rice. Someone in Cash Money can correct me if I'm forgetting something. Trunks asks, question, will there be a way in the future to introduce our own sprites in the game to use in conjunction with mods? Yes, absolutely, Trunks. That is my big post-launch work. Whenever, I guess you all haven't been around for this, which is fair. But I've been asked a lot in the last couple of weeks at Combo Breaker and at PAX, like, when are you coming out of beta? And there's a couple of things that me and Amy want to finish first. We want to finish the character animation, obviously. We want to finish story mode. But we'll get to a certain point where we feel like it has all the core things to be a complete fighting game experience. We will remove the beta label. We'll change the version to 1.0.0. But after that, so I'm not holding back release by this because it's a very big project, but after release, I plan to make a fully featured mod pipeline. It is still very speculative. It could be very difficult. It could be very costly. There's a lot of unknowns. But I have a strategy written out in a document for how we could possibly, potentially support community art. And in a very, first-class way, where you don't even need to share files anymore. It's a searchable database. Anyone can download your sprites directly and start playing. Stuff like that. So, someday, but it's very far away. Kenny says, remove whip around. I'll think about it. Sneaker Ninja says, oh, PAX West is the same weekend of East Coast Throwdown, if I'm not mistaken. Ruh-roh. That's a bummer. I'll double check it. Although, honestly, even if it was like one weekend off, we wouldn't go just due to burnout. It was the same thing if we were accepted to go to Anime Boston last month, which I was personally excited to do because I knew it would be a really chill vibe. It was really cheap and convenient for us, and I was going to actually do a panel on game dev. But then when we got accepted to Combo Breaker, it was the same weekend, and I chose Combo Breaker. And I have no regrets about choosing Combo Breaker, but a lot of these things are just going to end up colliding, and I've realized I've just sort of made peace with it. Wilton, there will be... No, Wilton, the plan is to have an online major approximately once a quarter. So we had one in January for our birthday. We had one in April for our April Fools. So I can't give you a firm date, but I'm planning to have another official one sometime in Q3. That's July, August, September. And then we'll probably do the Halloween tournament in late October. Esid asks, are all the jump cancels going to have the same universal button input? Yes. They have slightly different timings based on the character's jump arc animation, but it's one of the directional inputs, like Fake Lemon, so you can just hold it. So if you have any intention of jumping and doing it, it feels very consistent in my testing. People are picking up a noise. This was 10 minutes ago. Oh, that's probably my AC. Let me know if it's really loud. I like not sweating. Yeah. Do. First time chat from Omagers Darn It. Thank you for joining the stream. I'm catching up on questions. Shiggy clarifies, Shy Ninja is asking if the game dev has been stressful, and if so, how have you dealt with it? To be honest, yeah. Making a game has been stressful. It's been a long year and a half. It's been almost exactly a year and a half. That's insane. Since launch. And of course, we were working on it part-time in secret for 15 months before that. I definitely feel like we're past the worst of it. It was really stressful for the first month when it was all so new and when we had a lot of eyeballs. It was stressful last summer when we had our first big downturn. And there were other spikes. Something would happen. Something would go wrong. But it's only been so stressful because so much of my heart is in it. Because I care so deeply. And this is not unique to me. I'm sure many game developers feel this way. But, I would only get stressed, not only get upset, because when, the game didn't work or when people report bugs, that upset me. Because I cared about, I worried about, well, if that was someone's first impression of the game, So it has definitely been an emotional roller coaster. I see another drink request. 1 second. Thank you, Shy Ninja. But it's gotten better. For those who don't know, I'm not very secretive about this. I have returned to full-time work. I was originally working on TLA full-time, like taking a break and just focusing on TLA. Now I'm back to doing a normal job and just working on TLA nights and weekends. So that does mean I have less time for TLA, and there is obviously stress involved with a job. But honestly, it's in a messed up way. There's a saying that I really resent. If you want to get a task done, you give it to a really busy person. And I definitely noticed during my time off that even though I factually had more time to work on TLA, it was a lot easier to fall into a slump. It was a lot easier to just, get distracted, do other things, blah, blah, blah. And now that I'm working again, and my time is essentially more precious, I've been surprised how many nights I'll sneak in and just be like, oh, let me just add this to the About page. Let me just add this to this little thing. So, I will have less time. The game progress will slow, and that's not super fun, obviously. And it's also been slowed by doing these events, but the events have been amazing. The events have also been very stressful, but 100% worth it. And each one gets a little bit easier. So, thank you all for sticking around. Thank you for playing the game. And me and Amy are still enjoying it. Me and Amy are still keep working on it. Yeah, thanks for asking. Ellington says in-game time would be absolutely amazing, presumably in response to the speedrunning. Yes. Someday. Timer for the snowman game. What snowman game, Easted? What are you talking about? Do you mean the patented, totally original Tough Love Arena sliding puzzle game? Wilton says, oh, are you aware that training mode and combo trials have relatively consistent frame drops when compared to the online elements? It's the first time I've heard about it in a long time, so thank you for bringing it back up, Wilton. I wasn't sure if it was still happening. This is almost certainly due to the unique nature of input history in those game modes. So people may recall when they've asked for online training mode, why don't I do online training mode? The reason why it's not an easy implementation, anything is doable at the end of the day, but the way I do track input history for both display and for rollbacks is when you start a normal game against an online opponent. Oh, this is why we don't have a limited timer. If you start an online game against an opponent, it needs to track all the inputs so it can replay them all, right? But if you open training mode and it tracks all the inputs, then after a couple of minutes, you will run out of memory. After several dozens of minutes, it will just run out of, memory, and Chrome will crash the tab. So in training and tutorial, and combo trials is considered tutorial, it's the same rigging. It does this like circular buffer where it tracks history up to a point so you can show input history, but then like every 5 seconds it cuts off, like the oldest second or something like that. I'd have to double check. I haven't touched this in a long time, but it does some sort of like constant pruning, and that's my best guess for why those have frame drops, because that pruning is a significant deletion of memory, and maybe that's causing like a frame spike. And then when there's a frame spike, there's some weird wiggle because of the way we do frame rate. That is my only current theory, but it's something worth looking into. If you want to report it in the general bugs for me channel, Wilton, or maybe the performance, I don't know if we still have that one. And I will take a look at it maybe on like a dev stream when I'm in between projects. Taylor Rice says, Paul, could you put a beef combo trial with a one-frame microwalks to encourage FGC YouTubers to make combo trial videos? No. Ellington asks, Paul, I can just make separate leaderboards for combo trials in certain patches. That is true. A lot of people do that. But you know how often I patch. So I appreciate that, Ellington. But I do know I'll be changing it a lot, so my point still stands. She says timer would just validate the runs as they exist now. Smuckers says Meet 5H, opinions, thoughts, concerns. It is strong. It is cool looking. It is the bedrock of the game. I feel like the game is basically balanced around Meet 5H. And I had a chance to play a lot offline at Combo Breaker, and it was really fun. I actually took a game off Phil for the first time in a very long time. And it restored my confidence in the normals and how they feel. Me 5H, it's in a good place. Ellington says no one knows what to do versus ground and swat stuff. People are too scared. Recovery changes are justified. Thank you, Ellington. Bring back dribble rice. I've thought about it, but no, I don't think it works. It's funny, but I think it would get real boring and real frustrating if kept for real. Tibble says, oh, recovery also makes accidental burst baits hard. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't thought about that. Kenny says, are you satisfied with the throw range buffs? Yes, I like that. It addressed what I was worried about, which was watching replays and seeing people walk out of throws when I didn't want them to. Yeah, I'm happy with the current ranges. I might expand them even more. Ooh. But thanks for asking. Sneaker says, where will we be able to find the new merch if and when it releases? The merch that we made, Amy can correct me, may have already corrected me in chat, but the merch we made is going to be probably just sort of con exclusive for now. We're selling really small stuff that's hard to hard to sell on a website because the margins are so bad for production, which are buttons and stickers. And then we had the Combo Breaker print that was at the event. We have a lot left over, so we might bring those and sell them at a discount or something. I don't know. The Redbubble store, however, will eventually update with new character art and get like a massive overhaul once all the characters are fully animated, but that is many months away. Paul does a move. Kunku Kafwan says, can you do beef flex for us? I saved all my lemons for this moment. Well, I cannot commit to taking off all my clothes and turning my skin yellow, but I can at least let me just get a little bit more body in the cam and just do a little What's the sound effect beef makes again? On flex. Try and get chat not growing too much. Okay. This is very embarrassing. Something like that. Give me those points. Give me those lemons. I'm taking the lemons. Okay. Easton asks, how do you feel about the Steam release? I feel good. It was really valuable during Combo Breaker. Everyone asked if we were on Steam, and it was really fun to be able to say yes. Yes, we are on Steam. We are also still in the browser, and we're also still free. But we are on Steam if you want to give us money. And a lot of people were like, sweet, I'm going to go give you money. And that was wonderful. Let me check, actually, real quick. I think our reviews have been mostly positive so far. I haven't checked in a minute. Yeah, no negative reviews. And let me check the sales. Ooh. Oh, shoot. New computer. Asking for two-factor. Boo, 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 boo. This should be going to this one. Dum 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 dum. I know this is going to be super interesting for people on YouTube to watch. I apologize. Bum bum bum. Let's put in the two-factor code without saying it out loud like I usually do. Okay. Proceed to Steam. It's thinking for a very long time. Wow. Nice. We have made some decent money on Steam. Thank you everyone who has bought and supported the game. That stuff helps basically pay for our hotel and our flights to go to offline events. So it's honestly it's in our platform to maintain. It's kind of a pain for deployments. It's not perfect, but I'm glad we're on Steam because it's been a constant fan request, and it gives people another revenue to support us. That's not just donating money or buying merch they don't need. And people, I mean, we're not doing this for the money, but the money definitely helps because we have a lot of costs. So I will say this. The amount that we have made on Steam since launching about a month ago basically pays for the apartment music. We are now even on, almost. We're a little shy. But that covered the cost of getting new music. So maybe if people buy more Steam, we'll get even more music. Stuff like that. Kung Fu Kafo says, Paul is not going to have a fun time reading back all of Modding Feature Request channel. I'm so behind on Modding Feature Request. I apologize. Ooh. Some returning bathing suits. Bathing suits on top of their normally naked bodies. The beach theme is that they're more clothed than normal. That sounds like a lot of art. So not worth, but it'd be so complicated to draw pants on a lot of these poses, but God, imagine. Moshpox says, are you planning to remove Blue Life support, or can I use it in my mods without fear of them breaking? I would say do not plan on them being there. I honestly forgot it was still in there. The biggest thing is right now it's not being supported. So future technology, future implementation, future logic could break it. Or how we handle like tie breaks might not account for it. There will be an ever-increasing amount of blind spots, and I do plan to delete it someday because deleting code is good. Use it for now. It's one of the things, I think I don't want to delete it in total, because when we get past release and I'm working much more spending a lot more time focused on mod features, that would make sense as a mod feature to add back in. But for normal gameplay, it is absolutely at the back of my mind, and I cannot promise it won't break. Crispy skins. Ooh, that's a good idea. Oh my god, I'm so behind on chat. Table Rice asks, Paul, what is your ideal tier list for this game? Like, assuming you could have some tiers that are generally being agreed upon, what characters would be in them? I mean, obviously in an ideal world, you know, everyone's equal. I will say I am happier if beef and pork are on the top tier because they have, I think, pretty well-balanced and pretty interesting gameplay. A little bit less for pork. When pork was dominant, it felt a little discouraging. And I will say, I think it would be bad for the game. Let me put it this way. I think my ideal tier list would be like beef and pork in A and everyone else in A minus. I mean, my number one priority is just getting character diversity in top 8s. So whoever I need to move up or down to make that happen, I'm more than happy to. But I feel like the game has been at its unhealthiest when Noodle was the best character in the game and when Onion was the best character in the game. And when you saw Noodle just completely sweep tournaments, or when you saw like a top 3 of all Onion players, that was when the competitive scene was at its worst, in my opinion, as a spectator. Maybe we'll get an all beef grand finals, and I'll realize that sucks too. But I generally feel that the spices by design get started and hopefully run train on you. The carb characters by design hopefully keep you out, and I think the meats sort of by being in the middle tend to be a little bit more interactive and a little bit less feast and famine. Kenny asks, did any FGC people have any good input for TLA? Did you try to convince Sonic Fox to play it again? No, Sonic Fox just swung by and we got the photo op and said hi. I did get a few people to play and that was very fun. I can't say I got any really important external input. I got some feedback that I've heard a couple of times before. Nothing really new. It was really valuable though. Basically, I had what was it, Saturday night? Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was either Friday or Saturday night. We went to a bar with the main 6 devs, the people who make them fighting herds, and I complained about how throws worked about how our throws worked for like 5 minutes. So it was helpful insofar as it was a good place to flesh out my own ideas, for sure. Kenny says, Paul, hope you don't burn out. Please take care. Too much something and too much nothing is bad. No, thank you, Kenny. I appreciate it. Same Ellington, same Shiggy. Appreciate it. Yes. Don't worry. We're doing good. We're doing good. Any pepper picks? Not on hand, I don't think. Unless Amy wants to send me pepper picks. And if you send me pepper picks, I will share them on screen. Oh, there's one. I have to remember to put the screen back on. There's Pepper. We'll leave Pepper up for a minute. Love the sliding puzzle game. Thank you, Shiggy. Ellington's saying that's probably why I get those intervallic frame drops. What does intervallics mean? Wilson says my internet cut out as soon as he started to answer my question. Yeah, true. Cover 5H, I'm not going to count. I think I covered all the... I'm not going to comment on all the 5Hs. I like the 5Hs where they are right now. Offline Phil doo-doo. Offline Phil was not doo-doo. It was fun to sit at the table and watch Phil and Abik, bless their hearts, both of them, hung out at our booth a lot over the weekend, and they just wanted to play, and people would come up, and Phil would just beat them up for like an hour. Just the absolute monster. And same with Avic. They also did a wonderful job of coaching and teaching, and helped, give me and Amy more time to push merch and rest our voice. So we're super grateful to both of them. And if you're ever at one of these events, please stop by. I will play you. You're more than welcome to hang out. I talked about this a little bit before. Smuckers is my name, but my current belief, pre-changes I'm going to make, pre the SWAT changes and pre-jump changes, which could change things a lot. My current tier list is that A tier is rice, rice, beef, onion. B tier is pork, garlic, and C tier is noodle. And the tiers are close. But if I had to strata them, that's how I generally think about them in categories. And rice is probably at the top. Not safe for work. He's already yellow. Amy says pretty good to my flex. Thank you, Amy. Wilton says this is very embarrassing. Yes, that is why we do it. Smile. Thank you, Wilton. Paul Schwarzenegger. Now you're just flattering me. Should I do my really bad Schwarzenegger impersonation? But I don't know what to say. It's everyone's bad Schwarzenegger impersonation. I won't subject you all to that. But no milk. You're gonna have to cash in more lemons if you want the no milk. I'm not sure if I want to reveal numbers and copies of Steam. Maybe someday, Shiggy. I'll have to consult with my team. My $12 means something. Absolutely did, Ellington. Thank you. And Ellington says, Paul, I got 233 hours on TL and Steam. How do you feel about that? I feel great. That's part of why I put you in the testimonials, Ellington, because I know if they click on that link, if you go to About and you click on the link, you see 240 hours on record. That is very valuable. Back to the camera. Shiggy says, I sent you my notes. Oh, thank you, Shiggy. I'll check that out afterwards. Just because I want to start wrapping this up. But thank you. Pork was dominant at one point? Absolutely. They might not have actually been the best, but the skill level of the players and the current understanding of the players, Pork was very dominant. People who don't remember, in the first 3 months, we changed Caber Toss a lot. Like, day one, I think the most broken stuff was Caber Toss and Frenzy. By far. Because Caber Toss canceled from Light, and it was a true, like, tick grab on both hit and block, I think. It was so dirty. It was just so free. Maybe it'll return someday. Yeah, Frenzy RC, the crazy no scaling to try and make it worse, and then it actually made it better. The anti-air combos, it was crazy. Wilton says it was only unhealthy when Onion was at the top, because Onion was way at the top. I agree. Noodle at the top was the worst because Snooze Fest, 100%. There's a reason we completely redesigned Noodle. Yes, Sneaker Ninja. Never stop saying buff beef. You've been saying it for like 4 years now. Never stop. We don't believe in fiber here? What? No. Ripple asks, Paul, sorry for taking so long. Do you think Yordles from League of Legends are cool? I have no idea what that is. Sorry, Ripple. I played the 5th. Um, yeah, Amy says, we drank with the horse people. And one of the same time my phone is James Horse. Wilton asks, what are your issues with throws? I'll say that for another state of the game. There will probably be changes to throws in the next month or two, and we will go over that when the changes are done. In intervals. Fair. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Confirmed Phil is a bully. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Taylor Rice asked Paul, where are you planning to bring Rice down to? Lamau. I don't want Rice to be the worst character in the game. I think it's probably for the best if Noodle is the worst character in the game, because if they are strong, Frenzy and Soup could be very frustrating to play against. But as in a sort of like, as a more meme thing, I think they're wonderful. And Noodle's not even bad. I think they just, have a little bit less than other characters. So in the ideal world, Rice would probably be a little bit above Noodle. Yeah, Shiggy, that's the one I was gonna say. Get to the chopper. Get to the chopper now. Oh my god, I haven't done it so long. That was awful. Meow. Yeah, I have to have the now. Get to the chopper. It's awful. Now I can't upload this VOD. Challenger says, when I get on Steam, I'll have the most hours just because of modding. Yeah. Smokers asks, have you played Ace Attorney? No, but I watched Amy play a bunch of that recent Ace Attorney. It was a DS game, and then they ported the 2-game series to the Switch with higher graphics or something. I watched a lot of cases. It was fun. It was cute. Wilton says, right now, I don't think modding works on Steam. Please report that in general bugs, or in desktop bugs, Steam bugs, if that's the case. I remember getting mixed reports about this. Shadow Ninja says, hydrate. I think this is like the last of my bottle. Amy says, Paul's not culture enough for the gay lawyers. Excuse me? I was appreciating the Dorito. Mitch Match says, hello, I just started playing this game 2 days ago, having an absolute blast. Thank you, Mitch Match, and thanks for stopping by. We do this stream the first Monday night of every month, and let me know if you have any questions. I remember Noodle Way. Whoa. Kenny says, Paul, it's good taste not knowing what League of Legends is. I don't disagree. Cancer Man says, given the cheese cameo in the apartment stage, what do you think about fan characters overall? I think I want Amy to respond to that as well. I think fan characters are really cool, and I'm hoping to get modding to a point where people can actually add them to the game in some form. So yes, very cool. Please continue to post them in the fan art channel. How can we be anything but flattered by fan characters, right? Yeah, Amy says, love fan characters. All of them are canon. Okay. Amy says, and as evidenced by the apartment stage, all of them are canon now. Good to know. Oh, to be clear, Ellington brings up a good point. Rice was the worst character for a while. Don't worry, Rice won't go back to that. Rice was really bad when Rice was just a strictly worse version of Noodle, which was for a very long time. Rice now definitely has strengths. Rice has a niche. I plan to keep that niche. Tagging Arnold on Twitter, no. Shiggy says, very wisely, don't kill the part of you that's cringe, kill the part of you that cringes. Based. Grum resubscribed for 1 month at tier 1. They've been subscribed for 15 months. And asked, how is Combo Breaker? Combo Breaker was great. You can ask Phil about it. Phil was there for a lot of it. And Phil was super helpful. We stashed a bunch of equipment in Phil's apartment, in Phil's hotel room because it was closer. An absolute lifesaver. And Abbott was also super helpful in training. And honestly, it's just so much better if someone that's not us is teaching people how to play the game, because when it's us, there's, you know, a dynamic where they don't want to really insult the game. You know, they don't want to really speak their mind because we're the developers. It was so cool to watch Abbott and Phil teach people and see what they thought was worth bringing up first and how to cadence it and everything. ICL says, any buffs you were thinking for Noodle just to bring up a little bit? I mean, I think the helicopter will be more than enough. Amy says, the fan characters are part of the polycool if they want to be. Canon. Smucker says, obligatory cryptic carb when? Not 100% sold on that name. I have been jotting down ideas, but all the stuff on the current to-do is higher priority. So, a carb boss will be made at some point, but it keeps getting kicked down the road as we work on other stuff. Grum says, I just got here, so go over there again. Check the VOD, Grum. Sorry. Kenny says, are the characters' pronouns still canonically they, them, and are you married to those? I believe so. Kenny can contradict me. Amy says here. Amy says later down, yes and yes, but if they want to dabble with other pronouns from time to time, I won't stop them. And I also sometimes slip and call them he or she. Apologies. But that is the canon. Crumb says, I asked Phil, he said you wussed out and went to sleep instead of partying. No comment. There was some partying, there was some wussing. Amy was a boss. I got sick. Rice was worse noodle. The noodle got reworked. The noodle got reworked. The noodle got reworked. The noodle got reworked. Very good summary, Wilton. Thank you. I'll have to double check if it was really that many times. I don't know if you're, if you have too many or if you're actually short a few. He says Carb Boss is just a different version of helicopter. Oh yes, thank you, Shiggy. So I will here. So I'll just paste this in chat. It's very kind of you. You didn't need to do that. So for anyone who's late, go ahead and read that right there. It sounds like Shiggy also posted it in general. Those are some of the highlights, some of the high-level talking points. And we are almost at an hour and a half. Phil is very handsome. Can confirm. So, any final questions before we call it a stream? Can you play the apartment stage music again? Oh, I certainly. Yeah, I can do that. I love when chat asks something so reasonable. Such a good question, Ooh, I don't know if this will come through. It might. Looks like no. I gotta change. I'm just gonna change back to this rather than spend too much time messing with OBS. Ripple asks Phil's a furry. I have a response I want to give, but no comment. Easton says SF6. I think it's exciting that they're making another one. I never really clicked with SF5. I'm really excited to give it a chance. Yeah, more fighting games is always good. More Capcom fighting games in particular, they tend to provide a big tent, as they say. Grum, stop calling me out. The 10-hour version, says Shiggy. Wilton says, now, whose apartment is this? Amy says, it's Rice's. Everyone drop a cat jam in chat. Does cat jam work? Was cat jam one of the better TV emotes? I don't have that working on my laptop. You see the facial control for SF6. By pressing directional buttons during the versus screen? Wait, what? Hold on a second. wait, this is amazing! This is amazing! Hold on a second. Look at this. Sold. Already pre-ordered. Okay. I'm also, at some point I closed the tab, I guess. I don't know how that happened. So I'm going to call the stream there. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Thank you for the questions. Some good ones as always. Reminder, Apartment should be coming out in the next 24 hours. And DevStream will be back on Thursday night. This channel, I try to get started sometime between 7 and 8 p.m. Depends on when I get out of work, basically. So thank you all for stopping by. We'll have more fun stuff coming this month. Thank you for playing thus far. Thank you for spreading the good word. Thank you for taking the survey, etc., etc. And thank you for all the lemons. We got some good redemptions tonight. Amy says, good night, Paul. Great stream. Likewise, Amy. Good night. Great work on Onion. Great work, Amy, on the apartment. It looks so good. And I love all the little Easter eggs. And big shout-outs. I don't know if they're still in chat, but shout-outs to M, who was here earlier, our composer. I think they really knocked it out of the park with Apartment. And I'm looking forward to working with them again. All right, and Shiggy, I see that prompt, but I'm out of water, so I'm going to refund you your lemons, but I appreciate it. Okay, everyone. Have a good night.